A human-headed snake of immense size and power slithers forth, its scales nearly identical in color to the stones that surround it. Hatred gleams from its dark, penetrating eyes. The Faerunian Harnoga is a massive and powerful Noga lord, often worshipped by spirit Nogas as a god. It prefers to make its lair in the ruins of an ancient civilization, preferably one that it has personally brought low. It usually establishes its nest in a former center of society, such as a temple, a throne room, or a colosseum. In this place, the Harnoga gathers together the treasures of the lost society, piling up art, fine jewelry, and the recorded history of the civilization as tributes to its own devastating prowess. A Faerunian Harnoga is a gigantic snake with the head of a classically beautiful human and a body that measures 100 feet or more in length. It has no set color, rather, its scales adopt the hues and shades of its surroundings, much like a chameleon does. Harnogas speak Abyssal and Common. Though it has no wings, a Faerunian Harnoga can fly, winding and coiling through the air in a manner similar to a water snake's motion. It uses this ability to its advantage in combat, swirling above and around foes while using its gaze attack or casting spells.
Like its smaller serpentine cousins, a Faerunian Harnoga prefers to use spells in combat, resorting to melee only when absolutely necessary. When it does engage foes directly, it uses its coiled body like a whip, stings with its tail, and constricts with its body. A Faerunian Harnoga's gaze functions like the mass charm spell against creatures within 90 feet. A Faerunian Harnoga deals damage with a successful grapple attack against a huge or smaller opponent. To use an improved grab ability, a Faerunian Harnoga must hit with its coil whip attack. It can then attempt to start a grapple without provoking an attack of opportunity. If it wins the grapple, it establishes a hold and can constrict. A Faerunian Harnoga can cast spells as a sorcerer and cleric. Cleric spells and domain spells are considered arcane spells for a Faerunian Harnoga, meaning that it does not need a divine focus to cast them. Because of its ever-changing scales, a Faerunian Harnoga blends in with its surroundings, gaining a bonus for hiding. A Faerunian Harnoga can fly at 120 feet with perfect maneuverability. This ability grants it a bonus on moving silently when flying. Faerunian Harnogas are native to the Mare jungles and are most commonly found in the forests of the Chultan Peninsula. A trio of them reportedly leads the spirit Nogas of the Chultenga. A Harnoga named Tepenzi was the first king of Najara, Kingdom of Snakes, and still serves as its guardian in Undeath.
Hatched near the head of the Naga flow, Sensorith wandered south and west upon reaching maturity and eventually settled in the border kingdoms. Several decades ago, it was involved in a legendary altercation known as the Night of Seven Nagas that unfolded in the underways of Obel. During that battle, Sensorith survived the concerted attacks of two iridescent Nagas by stumbling through a portal that led to a series of long-buried catacombs beneath the battle-darren town of Asembra. Sensorith spent many years discovering all the secrets of its new home and establishing itself as a local drug and slave kingpin in the heart of the Daylans. Today, it leads a small band of human and once human followers in Asembra, who venerate it as the divine incarnation of Stacenes. In truth, both the Naga and its followers worship a minor aspect of Tolona. Content to let Dusker Flamehairn lead the day-to-day activities of the cult, Sensorith spends most of its time attempting to develop gems that hatch as though they were eggs to release any of several magical varieties of serpent. The Naga spends the bulk of the offerings it receives from the cult on rare ingredients for its research, but so far it has had no success. Should the spirit Naga succeed, however, it would control a new and potentially lucrative trade item of great interest to serpent folk throughout Farron. Sensorith's gaze affects all creatures within 30 feet, and it can use a sleep spell once per day. Sensorith can cast spells as a sorcerer or cleric, and gains the benefit of the alertness feat and can bluff when his familiar is within 5 feet. He also gains an empathic link with his familiar, the ability to share spells with his familiar, and the ability to have his familiar deliver touch spells for him. Sensorith knows the secret of gem magic and can attune gems as a bonus. Sensorith gains bonuses in Profane Armor class, Lore of Nature, and competence on all of the professions as an herbalist. He also has knowledge of nature too. Sensorith gains Profane defense against enchantment and charm effects.
In the town of Asembra in northern Battledale, just a few hundred feet south of the central battle court, marshalling ground, stands the infamous junk and pawnshop known as Adderposts. Named for its odd, serpentine-carved, spiraling door pillars, this notorious shop nominally deals in second-hand goods, though its proprietor makes most of his money by serving as the local fence for stolen property. Customers come to Adderposts from as far away as northern Sembia to conduct shady transactions outside the purview of their peers and to purchase Mordain powder for conversion into the drug known as Dream Mist. Millennia before the founding of Asembra, Adderposts was the site of a minor Saruk temple of Esthasines, and the catacombs beneath it still hold several dark relics of that evil god. After the fall of Mithdrana, a chance discovery of the long-buried Saruk ruins led to the open establishment of a temple of Esthasines, in which the long-forgotten deity was venerated as a totem of venomous creatures, including scorpions, snakes, spiders, and the like. In truth, it was Talona, the Lady of Poison, who backed the beast cult.
The temple's motto, "The Serpent Never Sleeps," has since entered the local lexicon of Battledale, although it has lost its original attribution. This phrase is now understood to mean, "the forces of evil never rest." The cult of Scythesines faded away within a few decades of its establishment. Its former temple, which had come to be known as Adderposts, was used for a variety of other purposes in the years that followed, until at last it became the shop it is today. In the year of the worm, 1356 Dr. Dusker Flamehorn, proprietor of Adderposts, chanced upon a secret door leading to the catacombs below and began using them to store the stolen goods he had agreed to fence. 3 years later, in the year of the serpent, 1359 Dr. a spirit Naga named Essensorith stumbled through a portal that Dusker had never found and claimed the catacombs for its own. Employing a potent mixture of art, charisma, and narcissism, the spirit Naga convinced Dusker and his family to venerate it as the divine incarnation of Scythesines. Under Essensorith's direction, Dusker slowly expanded his illegal activities to include selling drugs and capturing slaves.
Today, Adderpost is the center of a small but active cult of Battledaran snake worshippers who control most of the illicit activities in Asembra under the direction of Sensorith. Although some Battledarans suspect that shady activities occur at the pawn and junk shop, none realize the extent of the cult's activities. The proprietor of Adderposts is a soft-voiced human of few words and nocturnal habits. He dwells above the shop with his 3 daughters, Isveel, Larine, and Rowan. He is present at the shop for a time each day, but he keeps very late hours for discreet meetings with unsavory allies. Dusker is a self-taught disciple of Esthasines who venerates the forgotten deity's beast cult aspect as the Lord of Venom. Regular patrons of Adderposts know that Dusker keeps a loaded hand crossbow at the ready at all times. In addition to acting as a local fence, Dusker has established a lucrative arrangement with certain Yonti slavers based in the underways of Obel. Dusker and his daughters discreetly capture lone travelers passing through Asembra and other humanoids not likely to be missed and send them to Obel via the portal beneath Adderposts. In exchange, the Yuan-Ti send him urns of Mordain powder that is made in the Black Jungles and shipped northward via Lashpool.
Dusker deliberately avoids selling Mordain powder to local battledarrans for fear that its presence would draw too much attention from the local authorities. Instead, he reserves it for out-of-town patrons who know of its availability. Sembian agents of the Yuan-Ti posing as decadent scions of the merchant nobility frequently recommend that their fellows pay a quick visit to adderposts for a bit of Mordain powder. Thereafter, they exploit the drug's effects and the ensuing addictions to extend their control of Sembian trade activities. Dusker's 3 daughters are tall, thin, beautiful women with black curly hair that almost sweeps the floor when they unbind it. Rumor holds that all 3 are excellent forgers and limners who can paint holes, nailheads, and seams where none exist, and only the closest examination can uncover the deceit. In truth, all 3 women have been converted into tainted ones to serve the Yuan-Ti, and they are even more ruthless than their father. The 3 often lure amorous travelers into situations in which a bit of drugged wine can lead to easy robbery at best, and a quick introduction to slavery at worst.
While grappling, a daughter of Dusker can choose to smear her opponent with poisonous saliva instead of dealing damage. This poison, kiss, can be used only while grappling a foe with exposed skin. If she wins, she successfully applies the poison by kissing, licking, or lightly biting her opponent.
Obel Town is located near the center of the Border Kingdoms, straddling the river Subter west of the Curved Forest. Home to all manner of rogues, outlaws, and folk unwelcome elsewhere, the city's multiracial populace includes a Yuan-Ti, Sraf, of House Esselima. The serpent folk dwell in the underways of Obel, an ever-growing labyrinth of passageways beneath Obel Town that is home to most of the monsters that reside in the city. Members of the Sraf traffic in slaves, shipping them south to the Esselima's tribal lands in the southern Black Jungles via Lashpool. They also deal in Mordain powder, shipping it to agents across Vran to further the schemes of House Esselimas. One source of slaves is the two-way portal linking Essembra, specifically the catacombs of Adipos, with Obel. The southern terminus of this portal opens in a deserted cul-de-sac of the underways, near the subterranean tavern known as the Talon Dance. The Yuan-Ti keep a close eye on the portal so that they can quickly round up any slaves from Essembra.